are obviously some big-time players here also watching last night.
Football expert in the room and certainly on the team. What was your reaction when you heard that he was coming, and what do you think that means for soccer in this country?
A lot of good. Obviously, he's one of the greatest players to play that beautiful game. And I'm so excited for the city of Miami to be able to have a player of that caliber here. I'm excited for the city of Miami in so many different ways. Obviously, us being in the finals and having the opportunity to do something special. Now that he's here, I think, all the football/soccer fans from all over the world are going to come here and get an opportunity to watch him compete. So I'm glad he's here.
Fabio here.
Fabio Malavasi, NBA Brazil. Well, we talk about soccer. Let's talk about coffee. We went to visit your trailer yesterday. How you grade your coffee? Is anybody else on the team drinking your coffee?
I graded 10 out of 10, and nobody on my team can afford it, so they don't want to go over there and pay for it.
Vince, in the middle. Let's raise your hand. There you go.
Vince Goodwill, Yahoo Sports. Jimmy, Dwayne was at the game last night sitting next to Magic Johnson courtside. You two spent that year together in Chicago, and it was a tumultuous year, but you said he kind of turned you on to Heat culture. How important was that season you spending with him and maybe you growing as a player during that time?
It was very important. And yes, I did grow as a player, but I grew as like a person/leader because I just always remember the thing he told me more often than anything is everybody doesn't go about things the way that you go about it, but there is an organization out there that does, that being this one. And he just told me everything that the Heat are about was about winning, and he wasn't doing anything that he wasn't supposed to be doing. I'm just saying, he had been a legend here, still is, and he was just saying the reason he was who he was because the way that they went about things here, and he pointed me in this direction.
Standing on the left side.
Jimmy, hi, Valeria Rubino, V-Sport, Corriere Italy. Is it the resiliency, the character, the skills, or, as you said, the art of not giving a damn? What makes you proud of representing the Heat culture, and what do you expect from this group tomorrow?
Obviously, I expect to win, but what makes me proud is these guys are never out of the fight. They're so joyful because we're in this thing together through good and through bad, and I'm proud of my guys for that. I love my guys for that. So tomorrow we're going to come out with a lot more energy. We're going to compete at a high level, and we're going to get one at home.
Mark, back left.
Mark Spears, ESPN's Landscape. Jimmy, where is Tyler at mentally in your conversation? In your conversations, like how's he holding up, and what kind of boost can he give you guys this late in the series?
Obviously, he's been huge in what we've done all year long. But I think his spirits are really high. He's doing everything that he can, and even better for us. And we want him out there competing with us. We always have, we always will. But whenever he's ready, he'll be back, and he'll be better than ever.
Dan, over here on the right.
Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. There's been a number of times where you've had to switch on to Jokic out at the perimeter. I'm wondering his shooting ability. What does that do in your decisions to close out? It's got to be short on the ball. Kind of how do you go about that decision-making process with a big who shoots it like that?
Honestly, I can't even tell you the answer to it because he can shoot the ball, he can put the ball on the floor, pass the ball. You just got to do everything you can to stay in between him and the basket, trace the ball with both hands. But he's a hell of a player. So, he's been very, very dominant in everywhere on the floor. So you're closing out, one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world. And it's a handful for anybody that's closing them out.
Front left, Joe.
Joe Varden, The Athletic. Jimmy, two things. Do you know Messi enough have you met him and know him enough to reach out, welcome him to Miami or anything like that?
Can you leave me alone? I got 3 more questions. I wouldn't say that I know him enough, but I have met him before. Will I reach out? Probably not. I know he's probably got a ton of stuff going on anyways. He's coming over here to do something special for this city. I won't reach out. Kyle, if you don't leave me alone. So I'm happy that he's here, though. I really am, and I know that we will link whenever he's here.
Michael in the front.
Michael Pina, the ringer. Bam screens are such an important part of your offense. Just what makes him so effective, and how does he make your life easier?
I mean, he gets me open a lot of the times. And then obviously you have to guard him whenever he's rolling, popping. And then when you get him the ball, he's getting the ball to everybody else and or finishing or getting to the free throw line. He's been excellent throughout this entire playoff run, throughout the entire series, and throughout the entire season. So we need him to continually set screens, get out of transition, and do everything that he's been doing to help us win.
In the middle, third row.
Hi, Jimmy. Christian Palotie from Sanoma Media, Finland. In the last game, it seemed like Denver was more okay with playing you in that drop coverage 2-on-2 and not drop coverage 2-on-2 and not helping as much from the other positions. And also when you made those long dribbles, kind of natural Gretzky dribbles, they didn't help out as much as they did in the previous game. What's important in terms of if they keep doing that to how to get your teammates involved as well?
Keep doing what I'm doing. Look to find my guys open on the perimeter. Maybe dribble on the perimeter for some handoffs. Honestly, I can't tell you. I don't know. I got to go back and watch it. But I know I'm going to find my guys. I have to find my guys if we want to win. So keep attacking and get the ball to my guys so they can get shots on goal.
On your left, third row.
Deniz Aksoy from Esport TV Turkey. So I talked to Ömer Faruk Yurtseven from Turkey, and he said he's looking and he's observing every single move that you guys are making during the finals. He's learning. So what would you like to tell them to teach them more every day, day by day, to make them improve themselves in their careers?
Like being calm, not rattled is like the best thing ever. Knowing that everything's going to be okay, everything's going to be just fine. As long as you give it your all, you go into it every day knowing that you have an opportunity to do something special. And that's what we're doing here. We're having a lot of fun being and competing with one another. So that's what we do. Stay calm, stay collected, and go out there and do everything together.
Over here on the right side.
Jimmy, Paul Antunes, ESPN Brazil. Everywhere you look, like in this organization, it seems like there's some kind of underdog story, right? Even with Coach Spo, the way he came up, and even Pat Riley, the way he became coach of the Lakers, and obviously a lot of players, the way they got to the league and everything. What do you think that does for the chemistry of the team to have all these people together?
I don't think it does too much. I just think you have some really talented basketball players on the roster. You have some really genius coaches on the coaching staff and some super genius individuals in the front office. And they get everybody on the same page. They get everybody chasing the same goal. And they give everybody to give in to the team, let go of the self and really buy into what we're doing here as a whole. Underdog or not, that's just what it is here, and we love it.
Last two questions on the left side.
How do you evaluate your own performance, and if you have the opportunity to change something, what would you like to change?
I wouldn't change anything, not one thing. I continue to be who I am. We will continue to be who we are as a group, as a team. We're going to go out here and we're going to compete together. We're going to win together, and we're going to be who we are. I wouldn't change a thing, though.
Last question, standing on the left side.
Hi, Jimmy. Pedro Ortiz on Fire Media, Puerto Rico. I saw you were eating Puerto Rican food the other day. How was that mofongo, and how was that experience?
It was good. Puerto Rican food, I'm a big foodie. So any opportunity I get to go be around the city, enjoy food, enjoy really good company with people I don't get to see every day, I'm fortunate to do that. So I got a lot of love for all types of food, but for sure all the food around Miami.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Second row.
Fuck, Tim. You just asked me 12 questions before I even got here. It's crazy. Don't you got a hockey game to cover?
I do have a hockey game to cover. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for remembering.
Hey, man. Great memories.
Why is it so important that you guys are so loose today? Like, as you may have just heard, Jimmy was being violently harassed by a teammate during his interview.
Who would do something like that?
We have
definitely Bam.
It had to be Bam.
It had to be.
Why is it so important to be loose right now?
Honestly, we play basketball for a living, and if you get too uptight, and that's been our group the whole year. We got great leaders, and Jimmy's loose. You know what I mean? Bam's loose. Coaches, he's gonna smile. If you get too uptight, you can wind yourself crazy. Yes, we've all thought about the game. We slept horribly last night. I'm sure everyone did. We watched we got to just stay in the moment, and the moments don't come often. It's 17 years for me. So, it's my second finals, and I'm appreciative of it. And, I think our group is just a group that understands that, that's how we are. We don't get uptight, we just go out there and we smile through everything, and we just have fun.
Left side, first row.
Anthony Chang, Miami Herald. First, how are you feeling after
Great.
that slip?
I'm going fantastic. Oh, man. I feel like I can do 20,000 jumping jacks right now.
It's good to hear. One of the adjustments they made, did it feel like they were helping out less off the shooters last night to kind of take away some of those clean three-point looks you guys got in the first two?
Yeah, I think they made a great adjustment. That's playoff basketball. Every single game is completely different. Adjustments will be made every single night, and that's what at this stage, 2 teams left. You got to be able to make adjustments, and that's what both teams have done throughout the playoff run. It's really it's really a chess match, and they did a good job of staying home and making us shoot tough twos and stuff like that. But that's good basketball. It's good for them to be able to make that adjustment. Now, we got to go and watch the film, figure out what we can do better, how we can adjust, how we can adapt, and get some better looks.
We're going to go first row to Manny.
Hey, Kyle. Manny Navarro with The Athletic. I heard a rumor you were wearing a Messi jersey, I think, during the World Cup around here.
Yeah.
Just curious, your reaction to the news that he's going to be playing here in MLS.
Man, he's getting a lot of money. It's gonna be awesome, man. I think the MLS is it's a great league, and I think they understand how to put the product out there, and bringing one of the world's greatest football players out there, bringing him here is gonna be awesome. He's gonna bring a different fan base. He's gonna get some more revenue going, and it's gonna be a great atmosphere when they get that stadium built, and the fans gonna enjoy it, and I think it's great for soccer in America, especially down here in Miami.
How big a soccer fan are you, and I guess how big a Messi fan are you?
Oh, I'm a Messi fan. Soccer, that's great to watch. Honestly, I watch the World Cups. It's just I'm not good at it, so I don't really love it like that. If I was good at it, I'd be like, yeah. But yeah.
Right side, third row.
Kyle, am I correct that you guys have not had a chance to go over film yet?
Huh?
Have you guys had a chance to go over
We
film?
got over all film, but yeah, no, not really. Okay. Nice hat.
Thank you. So Jimmy talked a lot about effort and energy. Spo talked about 50-50 balls and things like that. What makes it so difficult? The NBA is difficult. It's tough, right? What makes it even more difficult, even at this stage, to be able to get everybody in the same place mentally to make those kinds of effort plays and be locked in?
Well, I think every human being is different in general, right? And so everyone's not going to be on the same page at all times. But I think when you have one common goal, it's a lot easier. We watch the film, we'll be in there together. I think that's the one thing about it, is that it's not as difficult. Everyone has their own minds for sure, but it's when you're one common goal and it's only about this championship, I think it's a little bit easier to get closer to the same page mentally than everyone else. So yeah.
We're going to go to the right side, fifth row.
What's up, Kyle?
Rookie of the year, baby. There you go.
Paulo, man, here with P5 Productions today.
Okay.
Obviously, Villanova great, jersey up in the rafters. I'm curious to know, what's your Villanova all-time starting five if you had to make one?
Man, Yeah, that's a tough question for the rookie of the year right there. You know what I'm saying? That's good. That's good. P5 that's your stuff? That's your
That's my thing.
Okay.
Started today.
Okay, P5 started today. Y'all shout out. Y'all go follow P5. My all-time starting lineup, Villanova would be, got to go with Ed Pinckney for sure. I'm going to go with Tim Thomas. I'm going to go with Randy Foy. I'm going to go with me. And I'm going to go with Mikal Bridges. And then Jalen, Josh, you know, they'll be my 6th and 7th man. That's a good lineup. I like that. I'm happy with that.
We're going to finish up on the left side with Tim Riley.
Come on, Tim, bro.
Only because you
go
said,
to the Panthers game.
I am going.
Let's go Panthers, by the way. Let's go Panthers. Let's, we're going to shout out the Panthers.
Only because you said he's getting a lot of money, and he is.
Yeah.
He left like $1 billion on the table.
Hey, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that.
What is it? Look, everybody's got their own plan, whatever, and he's not hurting, obviously. But is that like the ultimate athlete empowerment story to say, I'm going to go where I want and I'm going to do what I want? And is that something you all kind of strive to get to? Is that point where it's just not who makes the biggest offer?
That's honestly, that's a really good question, Tim. Honestly, I think we all, you know, and through our athletics, and I appreciate the guys who, you know, went through a lot of the struggles to even get us to this point where we can make decisions on where we want to be, and it's about us being happy. And to be able to turn down one place and go to where you want to be, that's the ultimate goal. And that's in life. That's in general, right? That's just not with athletics. That's with life in general. As a you know, reporter, lawyer, doctor, you want to be able to choose where your happiness lies. And at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, your health, your happiness, your family, and that's all that matters. You want to be able to say you're happy, you're smiling every single day, you're breathing above this earth while you can, and you can provide for your family, friends, for yourself, and be able to do it how you want to do it. And that's the ultimate goal.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Miami's physicality is having an impact here as they go into the zone.
Jokic, the feed, and Christian Brown throws it down. Murray pumped away. Now to Jokic. Jokic double. Pass inside to Green. Shot clock at 2. Murray. Oh, Jamal Murray from downtown. Gordon drives and finishes. Aaron Gordon.
And here's what you're talking about, rebounding the basketball, putting pressure on the Heat defense, because earlier was a passer and a playmaker. This time puts his head down, attacks the rim.
Third team foul down the other end on Denver. First in the last 2 minutes. Jeff Green comes in. Gordon will sit with the 3 fouls. Jokic left open. Now Adebayo comes out. Jokic throws it up, and Gordon kind of tips it in with his fingertips. Another beautiful pass from Jokic. Awkward toss or jump. And Jokic came up with it. Murray drives. Speed inside for Gordon. What a beautiful pass. And Eric Spoelstra wants timeout. First double-digit lead of the night as the Nuggets go up by 11.
That could have been assists that were misses here. Beautiful baseline drop-off bounce pass to Aaron Gordon.
Christian Brown off the bench, 8 points in 13 minutes. Brown with a steal. Ahead of the pack, throws it down. Christian Brown, 10 points off the bench, and the largest lead of the night.
Well, that's just great anticipation.
16-point lead, still plenty of time remaining. Adebayo double teaming. Murray finds Brown. Brown gets inside. Count it and one. Christian Brown continues his spectacular game off the bench. 12 points in 17 minutes.
Slicing and cutting, putting himself in position to catch and finish.
Well, the 1-3 he took hit the side of the backboard. This is just smart, playing to your strengths.
Gabe Vincent the drive, sneaks inside, can't get it. Adebayo's follow wouldn't go. Brown racing up the floor, goes right at Butler, leans in, shot is good. It's the Christian Brown show here in the fourth quarter.
I say Braun, he says Brown. All I know is he's played one heck of a game. Miami's physicality is having an impact here as they go into the zone.
Jokic, the feed, and Christian Brown throws it down. Murray pumped away. Now to Jokic. Jokic double. Pass inside to Green. Shot clock at 2. Murray. Oh, Jamal Murray from downtown. Gordon drives and finishes. Aaron Gordon.
And here's what you're talking about, rebounding the basketball, putting pressure on the Heat defense, because earlier was a passer and a playmaker. This time puts his head down, attacks the rim.
Third team foul down the other end on Denver. First in the last 2 minutes. Jeff Green comes in. Gordon will sit with the 3 fouls. Jokic left open. Now Adebayo comes out. Jokic throws it up, and Gordon kind of tips it in with his fingertips. Another beautiful pass from Jokic. Awkward toss or jump. And Jokic came up with it. Murray drives. Speed inside for Gordon. What a beautiful pass. And Eric Spoelstra wants timeout. First double-digit lead of the night as the Nuggets go up by 11.
That could have been assists that were misses here. Beautiful baseline drop-off bounce pass to Aaron Gordon.
Christian Brown off the bench, 8 points in 13 minutes. Brown with a steal. Ahead of the pack, throws it down. Christian Brown, 10 points off the bench, and the largest lead of the night.
Well, that's just great anticipation.
16-point lead, still plenty of time remaining. Adebayo double teaming. Murray finds Brown. Brown gets inside. Count it and one. Christian Brown continues his spectacular game off the bench. 12 points in 17 minutes.
Slicing and cutting, putting himself in position to catch and finish.
Well, the 1-3 he took hit the side of the backboard. This is just smart. Play into your strengths.
Gabe Vincent the drive. Sneaks inside. Can't get it. Adebayo's follow wouldn't go. Brown racing up the floor. Goes right at Butler. Leans in. Shot is good. It's the Christian Brown show here in the fourth quarter.
I say Braun. He says Brown. All I know is he's played one heck of a game. Miami's physicality is having an impact here as they go into the zone.
Jokic, the feed, and Christian Brown throws it down. Murray pumped away. Now to Jokic. Jokic double. Pass inside to Green. Shot clock at 2. Murray. Oh, Jamal Murray from downtown. Gordon drives.
Okay, we'll take first question up here, Mike, in this first row.
Mike Singer, Denver Post. Michael, I'm sure you watched the game film from last night in accordance of preparing for tomorrow night in Game 4. During that process, do you find yourself kind of being able to remove yourself and say, wow, I just saw history in the making in Joker and Jamal, or is it just totally focused, locked in, and it's just like adjustments for tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean, as I watched the film, as we watched it as a staff and then with the team, it was nothing about, the historical night that it was. We're addressing all the areas where we have to be better. Too many turnovers, too many offensive rebounds. And so, yeah, it was nothing celebrating the great nights that Nicole and Jamal had. More importantly, it's about how can we find a way to come out tomorrow night and get another one here in Miami, heading home to Denver for Game 5.
Third row on the left.
Hey, Michael. Paul Klee, Denver Gazette. Joker seems to figure things out really quickly, almost like a problem solver. He puts the puzzle together. When you're watching film with him, how would you describe that? Is it what we see, that he is that problem solver in the film room as well?
Well, I think it's was evident from early on in his career in Denver is that really high IQ, sees things before they happen, a step ahead of most people. And what you love about him is, offensively, no matter what is thrown at him, he has an answer. And he's seen everything in his 8 years that you could conceivably come up with as a defensive game plan. And he doesn't fight it. That's one thing I love about Nicole. He takes what the game brings. And that's what makes him special. He's able to make everyone around him better. He's able to read the game plan, read the floor, read the defense, and make the right play seemingly every time. And there's not many players that are that heady, especially doing it at the stage that he's doing it on right now, Paul. So it's really a luxury to have a player that is not only as talented as he is, but unselfish and with the IQ that he has.
Tony, back right.
Coach Tony Jones from The Athletic. After game 2, Miami, you weren't happy with Miami's efficiency from the three-point line. Obviously, going back to game 1 as well, you talked about the open shots that you guys yielded. They were a lot less efficient from the three-point line in game 3. Also, simultaneously, you took away some of their efficiency inside the arc. What are some of the defensive adjustments that you made in the macro sense? Were you happy with the effort defensively last night?
Very happy with the defensive effort. You know, you look at the numbers across the board, Tony, and our guys were so much more locked in, so much more urgent and aggressive in game 3 than we were in game 2. And for me, I can't speak for any other coach. Like, when you lose a game, the first reaction isn't we have to change the game plan. For me, the first reaction is are we executing the game plan correctly? And in game 2, we didn't. I mean, that led to countless mistakes, and which led to a lot of points for Miami where we could have been a lot better. So last night, only 11 made threes. The defense was much better. The communication and discipline was much better. And that is what I'm most proud about is the buy-in, commitment, urgency that we had. And it'll have to be even better tomorrow night. You know, if you go back to game 1, they made 13 threes in that game. I think 6 were in the fourth quarter. So for 3 quarters, we did a great job of guarding the 3, and then that 21-point lead got knocked down to 9 because we opened up the 3-point line. Game 2 is 17, way too many. So I think a big message for our guys is we want them to try and beat us with tough 2s and eliminate the 3s as much as possible.
Joe, front left.
Joe Varden, also from The Athletic. Last night after the game, it seemed like Jamal was attending to a cut on his left hand. Is he okay?
Oh, he's fine. Yeah, just a floor burn.
Ohm right here.
Michael Omi, almost like ESPN. You had spoken about this earlier in the series about Nicola's defense. Last night, Miami shot 3 for 19 when he was contested by him as a primary help defender, and Bam was 1 for 10. Was that his best? And he had 2 blocks. Was that his best defensive game? What are you seeing from him on this stage of how he's doing defensively?
Well, I think it's often, when you look at Nicola, so many people just use an eye test to debate whether he's a good defender or not. And that is just almost unjust, if you will, because you have to get past the eye test. You have to look at all the things that he does. He has great awareness, great IQ, great anticipation, tremendous hands to break things up. They shot 34% in the restricted area last night. Nicola was a big part of that. Nicola contested 21 shots last night. He had 2 blocks. So he's doing a lot for us to get to this stage in the finals, and then for us to have a great defensive performance last night. His fingerprints were all over that game. So is he going to go above the rim and block a shot or pin something to the backboard? He's not going to do that, and stop expecting to do that. But if you really know what you're looking at, which a lot of people don't, you take a real sense of, okay, this guy is a good defensive player, and he's doing it with an IQ and an awareness that a lot of people just don't have. So I thought Nicola was tremendous last night, as was the rest of our group.
Mike?
Michael, when you were assessing Jamal's night and talking about him last night post-game, you said that he had a presence about him that you were able to sense or glean or something to that effect. What did you mean by that? When he has a presence about him, how does that impact it, and what does that tangibly look like?
Well, for me, in my conversations with Jamal coming out of Game 2, going into Game 3, just reiterating to him how important he is to this group. And not just a 30-10-10 night, but more than that. Like, he's a leader of this team, and not just vocally, but emotionally. And I felt in Game 2 he was there, but I just didn't feel him. Like I know I have felt him throughout these playoffs. And being in the moment and feeling his energy, I think that's a big thing for me. Reading somebody, seeing where are they at mentally, where are they at physically. Forget making and missing shots, but I could tell from early on in Game 3 last night that Jamal was fully present in the moment and was ready and willing and able to do whatever it took to lead this team to a big win. And from the opening tip to the final buzzer, I felt Jamal was just that.
Steve, right here, second row.
Steve Ashburn at NBA.com. Michael Porter's minutes were down last night. His shooting has been off. How challenging is it to keep someone like him locked in and feeling that he's contributing, even when he might sense the meat and potatoes of his game he's not helping you with?
Well, I mean, I think so many people are quick to dismiss people. And so Michael Porter is not making shots right now. And we know he's a great shooter. We know what he's capable of. But he had 7 rebounds last night, and he had some really good defensive possessions and possessions in which he contested shots and was working on that end. And in this business, if you are just a specialist, we're not for you. We don't like specialists. We like basketball players. So if Michael Porter is not making shots, he has to find a way to help impact winning through being an unselfish player on offense, being a defensive-minded player, being somebody that rebounds the basketball. And his shot is going to fall. If he's taking the right shots and we're generating the right shots for him, I want KCP, 2 guys that we know are better than they showed in 3 games. They got to keep shooting the ball because that's the only way they're going to get out of that slump. But we believe in Michael. He's our starting small forward, and I have zero doubt that he's going to have a very big game coming up here that's going to help us win this championship.
Dan, back left.
Coach Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. Sticking with shooting, Nikola, I think 47% from 3 in this postseason. Hasn't had a high volume of attempts in this series, but what does the threat of his shooting, knowing that he has that ability to shoot, what does that open up for your offense?
Yeah, I think it's critical. We have a great offense, period. But when Nikola is making threes, that puts so much more pressure on the opposing defense. And I think he has one of the best shot fakes in the NBA. And he is, for a big guy, he is great at attacking closeouts. So if you're shooting 40-plus from 3, and now teams are really worried about that, and they're running you off the line or closing to touch, he's shot faking or driving that closeout, and now you have a 6'10", 6'11", great passer getting downhill that's going to score. He's an uncanny finisher. He's going to find somebody working behind the defense for a lob, or he's going to kick it out and spray for a wide-open 3. So it's not just the 3 points that he's making, but the pressure and the added layer is putting it against that defense. And it's really fun to watch him pick, pop, shoot. Oh, we got to run him off the line. Pick, pop, drive to close out, layup, or spray, or make a play for somebody else. And that is what defines him for me as a truly great player, is because every night his ability to make every one of his teammates better players.
Coach, thank you very much. Jamal will be next.
Thank you, guys.
We have a first question. We'll go to on our right, third row, Matt Moore.
Bruce, how much of the better job you guys did against their 3-point attempts was staying home versus being early on those closeouts? Was it more about recognizing how to get there, or was it more about staying glued to those shooters to make sure that they don't get those opportunities?
I just think recognizing the attack angle, their drivers were going in. Sometimes they're attacking to pass, and sometimes they're attacking to score. And then Jimmy was killing us in head situations, game 2, finding the shooter, so we try to stay home.
Left side, second row.
Bruce, Mark Kisla, Denver Post. I was talking to Jeff Green a couple of days ago, and he was talking about the grind of a long NBA career. And his message was sort of, don't let the business get you down. Now, you've talked about coming to Denver, but what kept you from being disappointed in the situation, not coming to Denver, but not having the offers you wanted and making the most of it?
Definitely was disappointed. But, I mean, that just added a chip on my shoulder to come out and prove what I know I can do in this league. And Denver was just a perfect fit. Everything obviously fell right in place how we thought it would. So I'm happy to be here.
We're going to go right side, third row.
Ryan Blackburn, Mile High Sports. Bruce, there's been a lot of conversation over the past couple of days about the Jeff Green dinner that he hosted at his house. I just wondered, how important are those, even if they're small, just moments of camaraderie with the team where you get to refocus, whether it's after a win or a loss?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, not a lot of people like to have people at their crib, especially how nice Jeff's house is. But it was great. The whole team was there. Everyone, all the coaches were there. And it wasn't even talking about basketball. We were just having a great time being around each other and seeing how nice Jeff's house is.
Do we have another? We'll go to Gary here in third row.
Yeah, Bruce, Gary Watson, Boston Globe. The pride that you have from being from Boston, where does that come from being Dorchester, as you pointed out?
I think just being a Bostonian. I mean, everybody from Boston loves Boston. And me growing up there, that's all I knew. So I think just the grind of being there, growing up, loving where I'm from, loving the sports, loving everybody that I've met, being from there, it just speaks for me being from Boston.
And the city obviously has the Celtics, but not a lot of great NBA players from there, good ones. I mean, what it brings along that pride in terms of just like, who did you follow? Who did you look up to growing up?
Definitely a lot of hoopers from Boston I looked up to, like Shabazz, Napier, Wayne Selden, those guys who I've actually watched play. I watched Shabazz play in the BNBL when I was there when I was younger. So, I mean, without those guys, I don't think I would be here. I didn't think a kid from where I'm from can make it out. So those guys played a huge role in my success.
Any more questions for Bruce? We'll go here on the right, third row.
Yeah, Bruce, Ryan Blackburn, Mile High Sports. So much of the conversation surrounding Jokic and Murray over the course of these past couple of days, too, has just been how finally back healthy with regard to Murray, finally has his running mate, Nikola, for Jamal. What have you seen over the course of this season, just those guys developing that chemistry again, and you guys maybe developing even more confidence in that duo over the course of the season? Just what have they proven to you over the course of this time?
Yeah, that duo is just almost impossible to stop. They can score whenever they want when they're aggressive. They know each other's tendencies, where they like to get the ball, where they like to shoot. So, I mean, it's for any team, it's tough for them to stop them too. So the rest of the team, we just got to play off them.
We'll take one more question on the left.
Mark Hisler with the Post again. You've also talked about Denver seeing you as a guard or a point guard. So I asked Cal about that, and he said, man, he's always been a point guard to me because I scouted him at the U when he played Minnesota, I think. Has he ever told you that, or
no?
Yeah,
no, he never told me that. But yeah, at Miami, our offense is like anybody can be the one. Everybody has the ball in their hands to make plays. So I mean, yeah, I came into the league as a guard, and I started point guard my second year in Detroit. It's just the role in Brooklyn was the only way for me to get on the floor. So I had to do that. I did really well at it, but now I like being back in my normal position.
Thanks, Lepers.
You're welcome.
We'll go on the right side to the third row.
Ryan Blackburn, Mile High Sports. Obviously, massive win for the team last night. You guys have a really strong defensive performance. What do you think was the catalyst for that? Was it there was talk about film? There were we talked about the team dinner a little bit at Jeff's house. What do you think was the catalyst for bouncing back defensively?
Yeah, I think we spent a lot of time going through what they're really good at and what they got us on in game two, with their slipping to the three-point line, you know what I mean, and really just try to take away the three-point line. I think they're the number one team in the playoffs, three-point percentage, so that's a big way that they score their points. So that was just the emphasis, and I think we did a much better job of that.
We're going to go to left side, fourth row.
Hey, Mike. Jake Shapiro, Denver Sports. What did you take away from that team dinner? It seemed like that really had an impact on a lot of your teammates.
Yeah, I think it was great for the team as a whole to kind of disconnect and just enjoy each other's company, make it not about basketball, you know. So I think it was good for us for sure. And then we just got to talk a little bit about the game and things like that. But we all really appreciate Jeff doing that for sure.
We're going to go to right side, third row.
Matt Moore, Action Network. Mike, the other day you kind of commented on how they knew how to anticipate your defensive coverages. Did you guys change those calls last night to cut down on those some? What did you do to mitigate that?
Yeah, they do a good job of hearing what we're doing and then reacting out of that. But I think just the the early communication, the loud communication, and just sticking with our calls, and just being more aware of the actions that they're trying to get into. So it just took a lot more preparation, but we did a much better job. I think we still had a few slip-ups, but much better job than game 2.
We'll stay on the right side, second row.
Vinny Benedetto with the Denver Gazette. You kind of, I assume, touched on it a bit there, but even though shots weren't falling for you again in Game 3, do you feel better about your complete performance than you did in Game 2?
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. It's been a couple of rough games for me. I think, I played hard. Defensively pretty good. Still tried to rebound the ball while I was out there. For me, shooting and offense is natural, so I can't put too much stock into a couple of rough games shooting-wise, even though I wish shots were falling, obviously. But really, I'm just glad the team won. But I know there's going to be a couple games, a series where the team is going to need me on the offensive end, so I'm looking forward to trying to bounce back in that area as well.
We're going to come to left side, third row.
Steve Ashburner, NBA.com. Michael just reminded us that you're the starting small forward, and he said that before the series ends, you and KCP are going to have shooting nights that help them win. Does that confidence help you, when you are struggling with your shot?
I mean, I wouldn't even say like I'm not feeling confident in my shot or I'm feeling pressure, anything like that. I'm just missing, you know what I mean? And sometimes the ball just doesn't go in. I think there's been a lot of shots that have been right there, just I've just missed. So, I know my teammates have confidence in my shot. I know my coaches do. So, I'll get it going. Hopefully tomorrow's a better game on that side of the floor for me. But I definitely, we all have belief in each other. So that's one thing about this team.
How satisfying is it for you when you have a game like last night? In spite of the shooting, you get 7 rebounds, you can test some things to contribute in ways, but it's not necessarily the meat and potatoes of your game.
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs is so much different than the regular season. I'm getting a lot different looks than in the regular season. I think they're paying a lot of attention to me, and they're a really good defensive team. You know what I mean? So Jamal and Nikola have the ball in their hands a lot of the time. I gotta be ready to knock down shots, but they're paying attention to me. I'm missing some shots, but like you said, that can't affect the rest of your game. I thought I did a much better job of that yesterday than in game 2. We're going to win a championship playing defense. It's not going to be about our offense. We could have 2 or 3 guys have bad shooting nights and still win a game just off our defense. So that's got to be the main focus.
2 more questions, right side, third row.
Matt Moore, Action Network. Mike, have you guys had film this morning?
Yeah, we did.
What was the message from the coaching staff in that session specifically?
Yeah, there was some things we could clean up defensively. But it was a lot of positives on both sides of the floor. Even though we didn't make some of our threes, we still had a lot of positives attacking the zone. So I think we did a much better job on that end of the floor than we did in game 2 or 1. We got some good looks, and we're due to have an explosive offensive night. I feel like where guys are just clicking like we have all year, but like the defense was pretty good last night. I